everyone, and welcome to another edition of Paul's Cinema Picks of the Week. I am your host, Brantford's film enthusiast, Paul Westbrook, and today we're going to talk about an iconic Marvel character. If you're thinking Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, or Captain America, or even Thor, no. We're not going to be talking about any of those iconic Marvel characters. We're going to be talking about a character that started in the Marvel Comics book, Tomb of Dracula. Yeah, what does Dracula have to do with Marvel Comics? Well, Tomb of Dracula was once a comic book. But it's not Dracula that we're talking about either. We're talking about the character of Blade. And I have the trilogy here, and I'll show this to you now. Let me know if my sister gets it.
Move close a bit. A little bit more. There we go. Special effect.
The character of Blade, yes, was played by Wesley Snipes in the film series. Well, he did the 3 films here, and it's like Blade 1, Blade 2, Blade 3, which is called Blade Trinity. And Blade, of course, is a half man and he's a half vampire.
Hybrid.
He's called a hybrid, as my sister would say, yes.
Vampires, I know all about them.
Yeah, and the character of Blade, he's... it says like he learned his skills under a person that's a guardian of his called Whistler. Whistler is like a mentor and a guardian, and he's also a hunter. So Blade, in essence, being half vampire, half human hybrid, he actually goes out and also hunts the undead himself. So he's like a superhero. Yes, it's not very common to have a vampire as a superhero, but in a case like Blade, it actually helps him quite a bit. And it's like Wesley Snipes played him for 3 films, and it was one of the favored films in the genre of the vampire lore and stuff, because you have the vampire goings-on that usually happen in these films, and you also have superheroics by the character Blade, as he goes and hunts almost his own kind. And yes, here we have...
they call him Daywalker.
They mentioned the
yes,
term Daywalker.
He can walk in the daylight, because
yeah.
He's a hybrid. He can walk in the
daylight. Being a hybrid,
daylight.
and he has those abilities to last through the day. Like a vampire, most times they have to sleep at night. Unless you're talking about Twilight, but we won't even go there right now.
Even there, they can go on Blade. They can go out in the sun, but they have that like the extremely piled on sunscreen.
Yeah,
so completely covered.
Well, like I said, it's not like Twilight.
Yeah, they're not.
Twilight's a whole different.
They're not sparkling.
Yeah, we're not even going.
No.
Going to even enter that picture. Well, or we'll save that for another show.
I think I already covered that.
I think we've covered Twilight anyway.
I think I did.
Well, that's good. We don't have to worry about it then. So, getting back to Blade, yes. And, in the first movie, he faces a character called Deacon Frost. And Deacon has declared war on all humans, so Blade has to be the one to stop him. And of course, they call Blade humanity's last hope for survival. Blade 2. Blade basically has a team of vampires. He has to align a team of vampires together, and then they take on what's called a new breed of super vampire. And he's on a vicious hunt to eradicate both races. So this super vampire goes after vampires as well as people.
Yes.
So
this is uncontrollable. So a lot worse than a normal vampire.
So Blade actually has to go after him for Blade 2. And it makes a formidable villain, of course, but I'm sure Blade can probably get through it, but you'll have to watch the movie to find out. Then in Blade Trinity, it's like it's the third, and it was the final film in the trilogy of films that Wesley Snipes did. And it says, for years Blade has fought against the vampires to cover the night, but after falling into the crosshairs of the FBI, he's forced out in the daylight. He was driven to join forces with a clan of human vampire hunters he never even knew that existed. The Night Stalkers, together with Abigail and Hannibal, to deftly trained Night Stalkers, Blade follows a trail of blood, the ancient creature, is also hunting him, which is Dracula himself. So Blade finally gets to meet Dracula in the third and final
Yeah.
film.
I could give a little spoiler alert.
Oh, okay. You did say spoiler alert, so.
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
The Mrs. Annabelle.
Abigail and
Abigail.
Hannibal.
Sorry. Abigail is Whisper's daughter.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think they probably revealed that in there. So,
Yes. That's
so
why I said spoiler alert.
So you did say spoiler alert first, so that's perfectly fine. And, yeah, Hannibal, I guess, is the one played by Ryan Reynolds, and of course he's a sarcastic, funny guy. He can be quite funny, but he's adept as a vampire hunter himself. And you know anything about him?
Jack, he can also walk in the daylight. Of course, he's the original. His blood is pure, not diluted.
Oh, Dracula?
He can walk in the sun.
Oh, okay. So it's a little different than a traditional Dracula, who usually melts in the sunlight.
Yeah.
But instead of, like, most people would get these separate, but it's nice to have all three on a set, so that way you can enjoy each of Blade's adventures as Wesley Snipes portrays them, and you get to enjoy all three of them in one set. You don't have to go out and buy them and then compare them, find out which one you like the best. Personally, like I said, I always liked the first one, but I did like the third one because they introduced Dracula. And anytime Dracula is introduced into a series, it's usually really good.
I like them all, and they got all three of them have really good music soundtracks to them as well.
Yeah, and 75-inch or any big screen TV that you got that has really good theater sound, like mine has, by the way.
Like mine.
Yeah, there you go. If you have the theater sound, it sounds really good, and you can hear the bullets or you hear all the fight scenes, and there's a lot of good fight scenes. So if you like a little bit of gore, but some great fight scenes, then these films are for you. Now, the next one, I'll just take a drink of water. Okay, now we got one which is not part of the series, but it was actually a pilot for the TV series Blade. This is called Blade: House of Chthon. And it was actually a different actor that plays the part in this one this time instead of Wesley Snipes. And he's a different type of Blade. Like, one, he's bald, because Wesley Snipes wasn't bald in any of the films.
Yeah.
Wasn't really bald too much. He had some hair. He did have some hair, like a little bit flat in that, but this one, it's, again, you get more of the action that you would get in most of the series that was done on film. And it says here this is an unrated extended version to graphic or TV, so they extended it a little bit. So it's more like a Blade film as opposed to the series. But he's equally lethal. He's equally adept at vampire hunting. And in this one, he has to deal with the House of Chthon, which is led by the overlord vampire named Marcus in this one. And, of course, their objective is to eliminate the final barriers to their supremacy over mankind by becoming super vampires. So, again, we're sort of visiting the super vampires plotline of part 2 a little bit. And, of course, Blade is the one that has to stop them. This one here was, like I said, supposed to be a pilot for a series that they were going to do. I think they did a few episodes of the series, but this was the first one, and they extended it to make it more of a like a film. So it was also very good. And I remember reading about Blade in the comic books, and he didn't look anything like he did in the movies. So I'm glad what they did. By the time they did the Wesley Snipes one, they actually made him looked more formidable, and then his super weaponry was actually very sophisticated and able to take on any vampiric threat or any supernatural threat he had to encounter. But yes, that's a little look at some of the Blade films. Like, you see quite a few of them, right?
I've seen all of them, except the one that you're holding.
Except the one I'm holding. It's not too bad. It's not as good as the first three. Like, I mean, I preferred the films as opposed to that, but it's still reasonably good. I'm planning to get my sister a copy of Blade as soon as I can. Which it won't be
I gave you all my burnt copies.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I replaced them with these. I gave them Tammy to look after. She can look after those. And I got the, you mean your advanced copies. We don't talk about burnt copies too much. You don't want to have...
Everybody talks about burnt copies about everything.
Well, we get quite a few. I got Oppenheimer last night. Yeah. So, that's a little look at the Blade films. And hopefully, if you can find them in the store, it'd be... you like vampires, you like action, like sort of in the tradition of the movies, the Underworld series, which is one of my favorite series.
Oh, yeah.
We recently got the extended cut, by the way, to go with the first movie. So it's the extended cut of the first movie, so I added it, so it's a total of 6 films instead of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's cheating a little bit, but what can you do? But anyway, that's... thank you for listening to our little video there, our talk about Blade. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below the video, please, and thank you. We really like the comments, and I like to hear from you, and I like the show sometimes to be more interactive, where we can get more interaction in it, but that'll come in time. And for now, this is Paul Westbrook, reminding you that I'll be seeing you at the movies. So long for now.